lot of people ask me how Tommy and I met and how he came to be a part of the Electric Playground. In fact, I think I can remember the first time that we met. How do you say your last name?
Tellerico.
Tellerico? Hi, this is Victor Lucas. I'm with the Electric Playground. I'm here at the E3 with Tommy Tellerico.
Where?
Right here, man, right here. Well, the truth is, I knew about Tommy long before he ever heard about this show. Tommy's been a part of the video game industry for more than a decade, creating music and sound effects for hundreds of games. His is a story of persistence, hard work, and success. Watch this. What drew you to video games? How did you get involved in video games?
Well, I tell you, there's two things I've always loved in life more than anything. It's music and video games.
Yeah.
I grew up in Springfield, Massachusetts. Great place to grow up, but not the best place in the world to become a professional musician. So I decided when I turned 21, look, I'm going to get in my car, I'm going to just pack up, and I'm going to go to California. I didn't know anyone, didn't have a place to stay. The first day out there, I got a job selling keyboards. I was actually wearing a TurboGrafx t-shirt. And the first customer I waited on was a producer at Virgin Games. He says, do you like video games? I said, I love video games. And he said, we're looking for people to hire as game testers. And I was the very first game tester ever hired at Virgin.
How did you transition from testing to making music for video games?
I bugged the vice president of that company every single day. And I said, look, I'm a musician. I don't know anything about programming. And MIDI had just come out. So I went to the programmers and I said, couldn't you guys write me something where I can take my keyboard and hook it right up to the game consoles? And they're like, well, yeah.
What made you think you could start a company that would just specialize in audio and music and sound effects for video games?
I was still at Virgin. You know, we'd won awards for Global Gladiators, and we did the Terminator, and we did Cool Spot and Aladdin. Capitol Records came to me, and they said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you guys licensed some of our tracks? And I said, yeah, that would be cool. I'll tell you what's even more cool, though. What if you guys did an album of video game music? And we came out with Tommy Tellerico's Greatest Hits Volume 1. And that's when I said to myself, you know, why don't I just start my own company? And so that's what we did. We formed Tommy Tellerico Studios. In the last couple of years, we've done about 30 video games a year.
Wow.
To date, in my career, I've done over 200 video games.
You've been doing this for about 10 years now, 15 years? What have you learned about the industry, about yourself, about video games?
The great thing about the video game industry is that every year, we're breaking new ground. We're doing things that no one has ever done before. When we did a game like Tony Hawk Skateboarding,
yeah,
there was never a skateboarding game like that ever. When we were working on Aladdin, no one had ever seen cartoons being scanned in and moved. And I'll tell you what, we're only scratching the surface.
Today on Question of the Week, Wayne from Winnipeg, Manitoba asks, what company sells the most video games?
You guys know that we buy a lot of games every year. With 20% of a $1.5 billion pie, now that's just game sales, not hardware sales. Nintendo edge out companies such as Sony and Electronic Arts that are second and third place respectively.
If you have a question about the video game industry, visit our website at www.electplay.com.
Hey, Nelson, Tacoma, Washington wants a code for All-Star Baseball 2002 for PlayStation 2. Enter the exhibition mode, press L2, R2, you'll hear a little sound. Now you've just unlocked 2 bonus teams, the Dingers and the Islanders, so batter up.
If you would like to request a code for a specific game, visit our website at www.electplay.com.
Hi, I'm Brian Green. I'm a sound programmer for Black Box Games. As a sound programmer, we write tools and drivers to help get sound into the game and played out of the console.
Toss out your halos and let's go!
So Soundman, this sound tool that we see before us, is an in-house tool, which means we created it ourselves to help us get sound into a game. I helped design Soundman, and another sound programmer here at Black Box actually did the programming to make all the windows show up and work the way a sound designer needs to actually input sound into a game. On the left left-hand side here, we see the samples that are all currently in the game. The usefulness of this tool allows the sound designer the ability to change the sound of the game without having to actually change code in the game. So here they can set the volume of the sample triggered, the pan, the pitch. They can set other trigger attributes, so whether or not it would randomly switch pitches. That would be good for sound effects that you would hear a lot of. If you randomize the pitch, it gets less fatiguing on the ear. Having the ability to easily experiment and change the sound of a game will really make a big difference in the end. And when you're working on sound for a game that takes a year and a half to make, it's amazing how one little thing can really satisfy you. And I would have to say, in NHL Hits, probably the most satisfying sound effect that we put into the game was simply the way that the puck was dropped and the torpedo sound effect that we put in with it.
After the break, we home in on Spy Hunter.
The battle on the gridiron's about to heat up. The reigning champ, EA Sports, in their Madden 2002, is about to get hit by a multi-console assault from Sega in their NFL 2K2. It's going to be a close fight. Let's see how these two games stack up.
We're here with John Shappert. We're talking about Madden 2002. Now, this game is incredible. The graphics are so impressive. What was it like working on Madden?
I'm proud to be a part of the game. When you look at it, it looks broadcast, it looks lifelike. The player faces are realistic this year. We've got coaches. It's an amazing piece of software.
Each of the players have stats. It's usually from 1 to 100, right? Yeah. How do you guys determine those?
Well, those are always fun because that's where we get a lot of the attention from the players. So we have our own folks who work on that along with the coaches, along with Coach Madden himself. A lot of work goes into those ratings, and they're continuously adjusted throughout the course of the development. And invariably, we always get calls from players who say, gosh, you know, give me a boost in running, give me a boost in blocking. I'm better catching than that. So it's always a bone of contention and fun when the players come visit us and talk with us. We had Jock Green come to our offices from Tampa Bay, and he drove over. We're in Orlando. He said, you know, you got to work on your pass blocking here. You got to work on this, got to work on that. And he wasn't just giving us simple little things like fix this graphics here and there. He was a hardcore guy that knew the game inside and out.
Are the playbooks in the game really, are they close to playbooks in actual play?
Certainly. We work with the coaches, so we have the coaches' license. Not only do we have their likenesses in the game, but we have their input on their playbooks, and the teams run plays similar to those that they run in the real NFL.
Tell me what else has improved besides obviously the graphics?
We have a 2-minute drill. We have added depth in franchise mode where you can take over the Houston Texans, the expansion team that's going to join us. We've got new Madden cards. We've got a coach's corner. There's just tons of new features. Not only does it look pretty, it plays great.
Thank you for the interview. I can't wait to play.
Problem. Nice meeting you.
Thanks, John.
I'm here with Greg Thomas, president of Visual Concepts, and we're going to be talking about his latest football game, NFL 2K2.
We really tried to put a big focus on QB intelligence this year. You know, the QB used to be a pocket passer. It was all about his arm. You know, Dan Marino and all this stuff. And now you got, you know, Michael Vick coming in and all these other guys who are really great scrambling quarterbacks.
One of my favorite parts of your games has always been the presentation and the way when you play this game, it actually looks like you're playing an experience on television.
This year we introduced a whole new system, basically our director module, which ties in cameras into overlays, into commentary, into showing characters on the screen. What our director module does is let us blend all of those together so that, you know, you're going up to the line and the receiver just had a catch the last play for 18 yards. You put that right up on the screen. You focus in on him as he's going to the line, just like on TV. So as far as do we watch on TV, of course, we record every single game. We hired a friend of ours from Fox who actually did all the games on Fox last year. We're getting that much closer to reality.
Talk to me about the sound a little bit.
Yeah, well, we added a lot of smack talk last year, and we're going to continue that. We have something really cool this year whereby, let's say you get sacked. We're going to go into an action replay. We're going to bring the telestrator up, and exactly on cue when they're drawing this, they're going to say, and here's where the sack happened. He's going to circle the guy, he's going to come around, and the audio is going to match exactly with the telestration.
So obviously the big competition is Madden.
We think that, you know, on PlayStation 2 last year, people were really limited in the choices they had as far as the game goes. Madden gave everybody the complete package, but in a lot of ways, you're still just playing Madden. With NFL 2K Series, I think that we're offering someone a whole different choice. You know, our control's really different. The intelligence of our players is a lot different. The way you play our game is a lot different than Madden. And I think what we've kind of proven on Dreamcast so far is that, you know, we have a captive audience out there, and people who really like what we've built. And we want to make sure that everybody can play those games. And we're talking, every platform.